This is the strongest Enmity PvE build, the Shining Maelstrom, breaking the world record for the boss at 44 seconds to kill it. This is also the ultimate way to farm relics in the game, as my bank is absolutely stacked after using this build. It can even do stuff like armor break Enmity in a singular second, while having enough defense to tank its attacks, and quality of life features like being able to fully regenerate your armor without the need of a campfire. I'll be dropping the build maker link and showcase at 2,000 likes or 500 subscribers gained on this build, so make sure you join the Discord so you don't miss it. A huge thank you to my channel members, especially those kind souls on the Mega and Super tiers. They get these videos early along with other channel member perks. With that out of the way, this is how I the best Enmity PvE build. Hello everyone, and welcome to the long-awaited Enmity build progression. I didn't notice until a few minutes after recording this, but I was recording with my stream settings on OBS instead of my normal recording settings. That's why this is the little chat box on the bottom right. Don't worry, I'll fix that in a minute. Some of you might know that a while ago, I did actually post multiple Enmity builds, but the thing is, I couldn't actually progress them. I just, knew they were good. That was mainly due to the fact that my region, Australia, just doesn't have many people to do Enmity with. However, as many of you might know from the Twilight Monarch progression, that recently changed due to the fact that I finally found a party that was willing to run Enmity. And these guys are actually pretty competent as well, being able to confidently parry its attacks and help me learn the boss. So yeah, it's about time that I finally put my build making skills to the test against the Heart of Enmity, which, as you guys might know, is probably the strongest and most profitable boss to farm in the game. There's our power-up. We are looking for lightning clones because I really want to test a new training method. Brace Collapse is useful for Enmity as it does have high posture damaging moves. I'll get Loot Skipper here just because it's a rare card and I like to get them out of the way. And perfect, we got lightning clones. Now when we get our next mantra, we can just power level our elements. I'll get Vitality initially just because I'd rather survive longer. Ice Lionfish spawned. I've learned a pseudo tease for Lionfish, and that's essentially just running away from them to bait the bite. And then when they go to beam, you just hide behind any piece of terrain to take no damage. This is honestly more efficient at killing them at lower powers, just because it's not really worth trying to, damage them with your weapon. Plus, you don't want to risk not rolling the beam and taking a ton of damage. Now I'll just repeat this for as long as it takes. But as I was saying about Enmity, it is by far the most profitable boss in the game to grind. And before, I honestly really disliked the Heart of Enmity. Mainly the fact that it was really hard to learn. Like, you guys living in the Americas might not get the struggle, but there isn't realistically that many OCE players. Or at least there wasn't many OCE players that were willing to learn Enmity. So that actually made it almost impossible to learn the boss fight. Therefore, for the longest time, basically no one in Australia could do Enmity. Obviously, there's no way for me to know who was the first person to learn how to do Enmity in Australia, but now there is a comfortable amount of people to do it. So it sort of just took my region a lot longer to catch up in terms of can we do Enmity. Bro, I couldn't even tell that was a bite. I'm pretty sure Ice Lionfish are actually tankier. Never mind, it is dead. That didn't take too long. Continue to level up our fort. Oh yeah, the requirements of 5 players did kind of annoy me, simply because, okay, it works maybe for hell mode, because having a 5-player requirement for one boss that you can easily wipe to, it sort of, rubs me the wrong way, because it's like, it's hard to find 5 players, but I did sort of get over that when I realized, yeah, hell mode's kind of the same thing, and you can just, if you really need to do Enmity or hell mode with someone, join a team, party up with people, and then it's easy. I don't want to fight the crab. They're so annoying. Just gonna keep running around until I get one of these shockers spawns. So that issue with Enmity kind of, died down, once people in Australia actually learned how to do the fight. Since, even if you could scratch together a team of 5, which has happened to me before, that team isn't always actually capable of doing Enmity, which is an issue, since a boss with that high of damage and that much anti-heal, is pretty hard to learn. But yeah, that issue did get overcame eventually. Okay, there we go. Finally found a Shaco, but it's not in the most convenient of spots. I'm probably gonna try to lure it away. Okay, fine, I'll just fight it down here. Could have certainly been better locations. But my other issue with Enmity was the fact that its loot was just way too strong. Like, when it released, it power crept basically all the equipment in the game, and then they added even more stronger equipment later. Like, I think the mantle's fine, but like, basically everything else from Enmity is just previous thing, but with more pips, and therefore, you know, higher stats. But don't even get me started on how bad the relics in Enmity are. Like, they just added way too many relics to Enmity. Like, Diluvian was already, like, way above the rest. And, you know, Helmwood was sort of matching it, but not really as much. But then, you know, Enmity comes along, and it's just that, but with even more relics. So it's sort of like, if you can do Enmity, there's no point in doing anything else for loot, because it just gives you way too much stuff. That's why I really think, you know, whenever they do add a relic grinding method, it should typically only be 1 or 2 relics, because, you know, that's not really as harmful. Also, I was looking at that Wraith Claw, who's like over there, making sure he's not a threat, which he isn't. Like, that was my issue with Diluvian. But then, with Diluvian, it was at least a solo method, so, like, you didn't need teammates and you could just learn to do it solo. But with Enmity requiring 5 players and being so ludicrously strong, it did cause issues for me. But, you know, I still think that is an issue. Enmity is definitely, you know, way too overtuned loot-wise. But it is what it is. Also, I realized I already got all the fortitude that we needed. I guess I'll just spam my Thundercall and Flame Charm training items. Okay, come on. 1 point. But this saying Flame Charm is locked. It was not locked. And that's all I'm getting, I'm pretty sure. Okay, we'll do one more job, then I will just resort to spamming my training item. Okay, finally a job. And please don't jump off the map. Okay, I don't think he's gonna jump off the map. I do have to deal with him, you know, getting on the diver. Bro, what's he... Okay, he's tweaking out because, like, the diver's directly above. Do not jump off. Okay, we're good. We're good. He's aggroed on me. And the server's dying. Okay, at least he isn't corrupted and takes more physical damage due to being lightning attuned. Okay, what the hell? Need him to aggro on me, not the diver. Okay, get him, diver. Get him, get him. And then he's dead. Alright, that wasn't too bad. Luckily, being deep bound clears up all the insanity I get from their roars. But my other main issue with Enmity, this is more like a conceptual issue over a personal issue, is the fact that he's hard just because he has big numbers. Okay, like, don't get me wrong. I actually don't mind bosses that have, you know, big numbers in order to be hard. I think that's fine. It punishes players for, you know, messing up and requires them to actually have mastered the boss. But, like, I really want Corrupt Primonon in the game. Like, I think if they just add, like, you know, use Void Feathers to spawn Corrupt Primonon in a weekly, it'd be free content. But the issue with that is it's hard because high numbers. But then Enmity's the same way. It's hard because it does a bar of damage per M1 and gives you a ton of anti-heal, as well as being immune to half the stuff in the game and just having way too much HP. What's this man doing? I think I might be recognized. I'm hiding from him. Surely he doesn't know. Bro, how does this man know? I don't want to get recognized right now. People get mad at me if I get boosted in prog, so it's like I try not to, you know, prog around people who know me. Okay, I did have to spam my training item, but thanks to lightning clones, this is about to go a lot faster in terms of leveling up. We'll grab Exoskeleton, that is good for just damage resistance in general, and then Fire Gun. Okay, that's perfect. Fire Gun is the best way to train attunement in the game, because the burn ticks also give you training XP, as well as the initial damage from Fire Gun. Then you can just get your clone, and yeah, you can just train off your clone. This is a really useful way to just train your attunement super fast. But I should also state that in clarity, this is my 3rd time progging this build, because the first time I progged a version that I used for the world record run that I undoubtedly showed at the start of this video. Then the second version was the version I was recording, since I wanted to make sure this build worked before I, you know, progged it and showed it off to people. But the thing is, that video file ended up corrupting, so I had to completely scrap that prog and redo it. So yeah, this is my 2nd time doing it. Therefore, I know the build pretty well now, and I will be progging the more defensive support version as opposed to the incredible offensive version that I progged previously. Don't need any of these, so I'll fold here as well. I'll grab Scuba Drana for plus 5 HP, and then I'll just get more Vitality. Something that I can also debunk as a really common misconception with Enmity is that by no means do you need Brick Wall on the build. Like, I am running 40 Fortitude Free Shrine on this build, and I am really tanky against Enmity. Like, I take basically the same amount of damage with and without Brick Wall. Because, like, if you're ever taking damage, you just run a Sacred, and then you're fine. Not to mention, because this build uses Ironsing to posture break Enmity extra fast, he's often stunned a lot of the time too, so he can't even attack me back. On top of that, if you really need to regen health on the build, and you're really strapped for it, then you can simply just just use a bloodless gem at one of your mantras. Like, you'll very often regen like a full bar from one bloodless mantra in PvE. Sure, it does 20% less damage, but you're healing a ton of HP, so as long as you're decent for Enmity, then this build works. In the showcase, I will attach an additional third version to this build that is for people that are really new to Enmity and just need to learn it. Because the version that I'm progging is more of like, you're more experienced and already have a decent team to do Enmity with. Actually, I should grab Flameless before I forget. Fire Mantras, 2-star, then I'll just grab Moving Fortress for now, just because it gives me more posture. And then Flame Wisp is the mantra we wanted. This will just make it so that I get the Wisp mantra slot. Only need 2 more Flame Charm points as well, so I'll shoot my clone again, and that's all we need. There we go, lock this, and now it's just a matter of spamming our Thundercall training item. I could have got a Thundercall mantra to make this go faster, but I honestly couldn't be bothered. Ironsing really provides a lot of utility on this build. On top of posture breaking Enmity really fast, you get the Iron Skin mantra, which can allow you to repair your actual armor and the natural armor that Exoskeleton gives you. So it's just really good for looping Enmity. I'll probably make the showcase double up as some sort of Enmity farming guide, since there is a lot of tricks to just make your runs a lot faster. Because your stuff like running Gluttony, hopping fast, getting to the bells fast, what bells do you run? Because if you're being super optimal, you want to run this Linkstrider version and then have one person on your team run the alternate Soulbreaker version in order to get more consistent auto screams off on Enmity, which makes them take a lot more damage. Then there's what weapon you run, because you can either run a Pale Briar, which is good for posture breaking Enmity, or you run a Divine Great Axe, which is just good for getting his health bar down. So like I said, there's a lot of decisions that you need to make based on who you're running with and how skilled you are. And then I'll break them all down in the showcase, which, you know, as I've undoubtedly said, will be dropping at 2,000 likes or 500 subscribers gained. And then I probably said, huge thank you to my channel members, especially those kind souls in the Mega and Super tiers. They get these videos early along with other channel member perks. Yeah, I'm pretty good at saying that. You know, I just copy paste the editing from like when I say it in the intro to the outro, and it already matches perfectly, which means that I say it at the exact same speed every single time. So yeah, I've just gotten into a habit of that. Okay, this is just taking too long, so what I am going to do is just go over here and just use my autodidact points. This will just speed things up quite a lot. I will go to Mystic and actually start using her, since like I try not to constantly use Moon's Eye Tomes pre-shrine, since I don't want to become over-reliant on my relics, even though, you know, it is an option for me. That's why I didn't take another Thundercall mantra to train faster, just because I would have preferred to actually just, you know, manually grind it out. Oh, actually, we need a lot of these. Oh my god, I meant to freeze. What am I doing? Okay, freeze this and take Immolation here. And then I'll just grab 4 Vitality. Then yet again, I can just keep investing, but I'm not gonna power up this time. Okay, I'll lock that, and now I'm just gonna go to the surface in order to do all my extra talent hands and the mantra quest. Okay, we spawned near Vigils. That's pretty convenient. Sadly, we don't have a boat, so I will just have to swim the rest of the way. But this means we can just do mantra quests straight up, and then I guess we're near Legion Camp, and then we can do Chakra quest, and then I'll have to go back to Mini to do the final talent hand. I'm sure you guys know the formula by now. Okay, but I talked about it before, so let me actually say it in detail. I want a corrupt Primonon in the game. Now, okay, let me actually like explain how this would be done, because I think it's really easy to make work. The first step is you spawn the corrupt Primonon by using Void Feathers, and you know, Void Feathers aren't exactly farmable, so that would create a new economy around obtaining as many Dark Feathers and Umbral Obsidian as possible. That also makes corrupt Primonon not necessarily spammable unless you have proper preparations, which I don't think is necessarily something we've seen before. And then, you know, apart from that, corrupt Primonon just has the corrupt tag added to him. If they want to, they can maybe change up his model, make him look a lot more like beastly or feral, maybe even bigger. And then on top of that, they could add a new attack or two. I think that could be nice. Maybe like the island starts sinking slowly, and if you don't kill him in time, you all like instantly go to depths. That could be an interesting like way to make the fight have stakes. Although actually, I don't know, in my opinion, that might encourage people to run really high damage builds too much, which I don't believe anyone should be forced into running a specific type of build. That was my main issue with the Diluvian. So I know, give him a new attack. Then apart from that, you just like give 3 times the loot. So make the notes grinding aspect of Promodon even better. And then you maybe give him a new like relic equipment. Okay, I need to get 3-star lightning mantras. So yeah, with a new model, a new attack or 2, new relic equipment, a summoning method, and I don't know, maybe announce to the entire server that corrupt Promodon has spawned, then I think you've got an easy boss that you could add in a weekly that just spruces up old content to be interesting. So what, modeling, like changing Promodon's model, I don't think that would take too much time for the devs to do. A new attack wouldn't be too hard, and a new equipment is relatively easy. Talk to him. Now let's hope we get Lightning Cloak. Really, we didn't? Damn, okay. It's alright because we can re-roll at mini. Okay, I'll burn this, and then I'll just... Do I even need a filler mantra? Actually, I have no choice. I'll take this, and then I will just re-roll for Lightning Cloak at mini. It's fine because we have 15 knowledge on the build, therefore there's a lot of room for error. Like I said, add corrupt Promodon like that, that's really easy to do, and I think it'll just breathe life into a new boss. Plus, you know, part of the charm for Promodon is the fact that there is players around there who could gank, which does make it like a good guild grinding spot. Like this way, this adding a corrupt Promodon, a new variant you can spawn, it doesn't interfere with the people who casually grind there, because there's no real reason to gank people doing normal Promodon, like the loot is not that good. But with the corrupt Promodon, multiple people would want to do it because the loot would be, you know, good. There'd be a new economy generated, so more people are trading, you know, void feathers, and it would just amplify what makes the boss already good in players' eyes. Honestly, they do that in one weekly and it's just amazing. Like, I strongly believe in revamping old content over making new content. Like, part of the reason that I dislike a lot of the weeklies is just because they'll add a new legendary weapon that power creeps all the other weapons in that attunement. And it's like, why would you, you know, go back and run Bloodflare Karma or Imperial stuff when there is just way better options nowadays? Like, I think we are very much overdue for a lot of the old legendary weapons to get a rework. Like, you still see Curved and Crypt from time to time at least, but that's more because the attunements that they're running are just good and they have a lot of synergies. But if they just revamp old content, then rather than having to make a new build for the broken thing of the week, people can use their old existing builds to try out the new content, and then, you know, they rework Bloodflare Karmas, people hop on their old Bloodflare Karma builds. Oh wow, this new legendary weapon is actually pretty fun. And then they go and prog a new build using all the new stuff. So like, I don't believe just adding a new broken weapon is gonna get people to, you know, try out things, because that's just adding a bunch of bloat to the game that just makes things seem more and more, you know, there's way too many weapons when like only 10 of them are actually used. That being said, as far as I know, they're actually doing a decent job balancing at the moment. Like, I don't know if it's perfect, obviously, because I just don't have interest in PvP, but they are definitely focusing a lot on optimizations and balancing, which I think, granted, those things need to be done, but they're missing what makes Deepwoken, you know, what's hurting Deepwoken right now, and that's the fact that there just isn't new content for old players to come back to. In my opinion, add that corrupt Promodon, or finally finish the Ceramid rework, and then you focus on the optimizations and balancing. You know, you do that patch or the patch right after, so then it's more noticeable that, oh, okay, the dev team is actually like trying to improve, rather than people coming back, you know, 5 months later and then like, oh, okay, the game's just smooth now. They don't actually see like all the hard work that's being put into proving how the game runs or the game's balancing. Not to mention, adding a bunch of new broken stuff kind of undoes all the balancing. It's like, I know Parasitic Dust is absolutely unfair right now, and it's just being used to cheese people with Grand Javelin or Rocket Lance and Depths. Even I could have seen it coming that like, if you have a bell that allows you to like true combo anything, then people are just gonna throw you across the map. It's like with Rising Wind. I like immediately predicted, okay, people are gonna use this to cheese and then take people in a Chime Storm, and yep, it was done. So like, I don't know if testers didn't get to test Parasitic Dust or if feedback was just not taken on board, but yeah, as a whole, Deepwoken's new content does just not seem to be balanced. That could be on purpose, like release something broken so that, you know, people get on to check it out, but as you can expect, that has, you know, issues if you keep doing that, because then people are just going to assume, okay, why prog this, because it's just going to be really busted for 1 week and then gutted the next week. I mean, it's not like every bit of content ever is inherently broken, but the devs do have a bad track record with releasing something that's balanced on release. I mean, not that they haven't done it before, but I don't know, I'm pretty sure the fault does lie in the devs over the testers. From what limited info I have been told, a lot of testers do actually give feedback that just isn't implemented. I mean, that's just what I've heard, and I don't know how true that is, because obviously someone's not going to admit their fault and is going to blame someone first. Not, you know, saying any testers are malicious in that regard. In Terrapod, you don't see these things every day. Wonder if I can kill it. It's notoriously annoying to parry. These things actually drop Evan Spears, and I remember, like, when I was still new to the game and just could not do a chaser, I would actually place Terrapod bait down to try to get one of these things to spawn and get the Evan Spear off it. If you're wondering, I never got an Evan Spear that way. I think I just eventually learned how to do layer 2. And no Evan Spear, unfortunate. Something that I do think we are really overdue for is just a good quality update that adds a lot of PvE quality of life. Like, there's a lot of really simple ways that you can just make PvE better, like without adding too much new content and without, you know, a ton of dev time. An example of this that I say a lot is jobs should have a small highlight when they spawn. Like, okay, if it's hard to do outlines on monsters, literally just make a marker that appears temporarily, like one of the Jet Striker markers, and that's enough, because so many times while progging, a monster will just say, a job is nearby, and then I just can't find it. So if you add that, it'd be a lot more convenient. Apart from that, I just want other stuff like campfires at Ferryman should despawn after being used, because it really annoys me that so many people don't break their campfires, and then I just have to spend extra time breaking them. Having the trees at Ferryman respawn faster too would be nice. Okay, not a player, we're good. Then they also need to actually make crowns better, because right now they're pretty much useless. Like, all you can get is a Thresher jockey that just isn't even worth using most of the time. So it's like, I think that with crowns, the best thing that they can do is make it so you can buy additional bank slots with more crowns. Because, like, the one common thing that, like, endgame players that, you know, are grinding these crowns have an issue with is the fact that they just run out of bank space. Like, they put too much loot in their bank and they just have to clear it out, which is an issue I have, and I have a maxed out bank. So I think that you should just be able to buy an additional bank slot for 1 crown. Like, maybe add, I don't want to say a number too high, but like you add 50, and then that's gonna like supply people for quite a while. Or I don't know, maybe you could make it so you can trade crowns for echoes. I think that could also be a very useful way to make the crown system better. Oh wait, is that one of those guys? I'll see if I can get Ardor, because I mean, I don't mind getting it on the build. Is that a Voidwalker? That is a Voidwalker. Goodbye. Been considering doing for a while as a video, and that's actually making a starter guide to Deepwoken. Like, I know most of my audience generally falls in, like, you know, the category of players who are like experienced enough to progress most builds, but I still feel like it's a good idea for me to make some sort of starter guide that explains all the initial unlocks and, you know, how to fight the monsters, maybe even like how to initially progress as a new player, because there definitely is a bunch of starter guides, but I feel like I have like a lot to share on like how to efficiently do all those steps while actually teaching the player about the game. So I don't know, even though it probably won't interest most of my current audience, do let me know if you think it would be interesting to see a starter guide, since I'll go over everything from like mainly how to initially traverse the map of Deepwoken and get to all the important locations, then how to secure a very easy progression route for new players, leading into how to initially beat the Thresher in Trial of 1, since after that point you can just loop the origin to learn the basics of the game, and then later on I'll probably go into how to get all the attunements, origin unlocks, and the echo talents, then probably capping it off with a guide of how to get Chain of Perfection, as at that point you can basically go into whatever area of the game you want and you'll find decent success with time. I wasn't actually paying attention because I forgot this specific variation of the build ends up going Charisma pre-shrine as well, just because the other version goes Soulbreaker and therefore I do it post-shrine. So actually we probably won't need to shrine at all, simply because we've got another 2 powers ahead of us. Life and stuff, latest Eleanor fashion. So I probably should have saved my extra talent hands for later. Oh well, I'll get Phoenix Flames for now, that could be used in Enmity sometimes. Then I'll get Scorched Peak, I'll get Jumpstart, which should lead me into Raging Static. There we go, grab that. I won't really need any of these, so I'll grab Discovery of Fire just as a way to light campfires. Oh my god, what the hell? Bro, I'm being jumped. Wait, chat, we might be good, we might be good, we might be good. We might actually be good. Oh, we survived! Imagine trying to jump me. That wasn't even a Void Walker too. Okay, unless this guy's an exploiter, he can't find me. Okay, easy escape. What the hell? Like, bro, if you're gonna try to jump me, at least try. Like, you could have assassinated me too. Oh my god, so easy. Now that that very poor attempt to jump me is out of the way, let me actually select Spark Swap. This is a decent mantra for running, so I might as well take it. Luckily, we still have one more power, maybe two, and then we can also use the 15 knowledge to roll Shrine of Temptation once. Power 9, don't need any of these, so I'll fold. I'll probably just end up stacking up a bunch of folds, honestly. I guess I'll grab Unyielding Inferno, although that's not really gonna do anything, so I'll just reroll it later. And there is Lightning Cloak. Alright, now we have everything that we need pre-shrine except for the charisma talents, which I can get now. Can I bug you for a moment? Alright, one more point. And there is 25 charisma. Now I'll just buy the rest of the training gear that we're missing to get our strength, willpower, agility, and willpower up. Go dumbbell, prayer beads, 1 agility, then 1 and 2 weapon. And now let me check. Okay, it appears I did sort of mess up. I can either get extra knowledge in order to just Shrine of Chance the charisma cards, or I can just take the loss and then I'll lose 4 points on the build, which is honestly fine. I'm content with losing 4 points. That's like a livable amount and is only, what, 2% at most off my weapon stat, so that's fine. When you guys prog this build, I would recommend that you do Fortitude last and then do Charisma first, just because that's going to lead to you having to only Shrine of Chance once, and for a rare card, so it'll be pretty easy to get. Alternatively, I could just Shrine of Blasphemy in order to get the last 2 Charisma cards, but I'd rather not get an additional floor. So I'm just going to take the hit and power up again. Doesn't really matter what I spam. And then 1 more willpower, and there is power 10. Unfortunate that I'm going to have to lose a couple points, but it's not the biggest deal in the end. Let me also Mantra's Charisma. I want to see if I can get Taunt. Don't want to return to Dark Ages. I'm just going to burn a bunch of this stuff. Don't want that. Don't want that. Don't want that. And then I'll just take this for the future. There we go, Charismatic Cast. I'm gonna burn this and this. Now I should get Tough Love in the next hand. There we go. We don't have anything else that we need pre-shrine. This build's pre-shrine is just really easy. Grab Ready or Not for now, and then let's see. Oh, Taunt, nice. I don't know if Taunt is 100% needed, but it's definitely a nice mantra to have. Okay, we don't even need to Shrine of Chance, so that's perfect. Oh, wait, I just got an extra point. Is that gonna be bad? Okay, wait, is that bad? Okay, no, we're good, we're good. If I reduce this by 3... Oh, okay, unfortunate. Okay, we can't use Shrine of Mastery to, like, sort of fix the build. Okay, I do want to prog at Hive post-Shrine, because I honestly just find Hive progging very fun. Plus, there's other players around to prog with. So I'm just gonna head to the Eastern Luminant, go to Songseeker, and use Shrine of Order. Just Shrine of Order, talk to it... 18 and everything, and there we go. Now our first priority is going to be getting an Ironsing mantra in order to train on our clones once again. But before I do that, I am going to head to Hive, and I should probably also do the Pocket Bombs talent, just because it's plus 5 HP, and, well, you can't go wrong being more tanky against Enmity. Where's my Discovery of Fire? There we go. So these guys are, like, impossible to parry. There we go. Another one dead. Okay, I'm just gonna keep health packing off these guys so I can just keep Flame Within on at all times. Make sure that I'm burning them. Discovery of Fire, and there's only 1 left, I think. Oh, why is there so many? Alright, should hopefully be the last group of Mind Skippers. Okay, now let's go out and collect our Family Recipe talent. Hopefully we actually roll into Pocket Bombs sometime soon. With that out of the way, let's head off to Hive, because we're gonna grind Thresher jobs. Oh, and we're at Hive, and this server is like spiking to 150 ping, but it appears there's a lot of people here. Hopefully they're friendly. Well, there's a gank going on over there, but I don't think these two are malicious. Well, let's just use my ankle weights to get to 25 agility. 25. Then use the dumbbell to get to 20. This will just give us access to Spine Cutter. There we go. Now I'll use my prayer beads to get to 20 willpower. Damn, that is a lot of ganking going on over there. And that ice cube almost hit me. Now I can just... Actually, I need to buy a Ironsing training item because I want to get to 20 Ironsing. Actually, no, I need to get to 30 Ironsing. That's where all the good stuff is at. Okay, but hopefully I get something decent to train on because I usually end up getting something like Needle Barrage, which is certainly not the best thing to train with from experience. Hello, I have been recognized. Okay. Well, hopefully these guys protect me if a Voidwalker shows up. Grab this, then unlock that, and now I'll just start to train my Ironsing. That there, and then put training manual there. Alright, well, let's hope that more Threshers spawn. At least I know if I'm getting attacked, I run to this guy and they're gonna protect, and maybe, unless a max power jumps me. That's a real possibility. Right, here we go, got a King Thresher. Okay, let me guys tell you a funny story that happened the other day. As I've stated a couple times, I finally found a party to run Enmities with, but there's actually been 3 servers which, you know, have been offering OC Enmities. 2 of them have been, you know, good and recently merged into each other, but the third one was, yeah, it had a bunch of drama related to it. Mainly one of the owners just bringing their depth politics into the server. You know, like pinging saying, hey, bounty on this person, grip them, or like, I gripped my enemy, or something like that. And I don't think that man mean to attack me. Oh my god, my HP is gone. This guy knows me. This is a little scary. Why is there so many goddamn Voidwalkers? Sure, I gotta be nice to him so he doesn't jump me. This is not scary at all. And there that guy goes. Okay, I don't think the Crazy Salts guy is malicious. I don't need anything here, so I'll fold. Then I'll grab Charged Return. I'll grab Armor Conserver because that's useful for Enmity. Then I can start going into Proficiency. Okay, hopefully I get something that'll allow me to train my Ironsing soon. Actually, I might just be able to sit at a campfire and power up. Let's see, no more points there. So I'll go into my guild base. Then I do have enough points. Perfect. Best. We go power up. I want to go guarantee 2-star Ironsing mantras. Hopefully I get something like Metal Rain or Caltrops, because that'll make training on my lightning clones really fast. I'll start getting the Scrap Singer path, as it is very useful for posture breaking Enmity extra fast. Let's see, I'm not getting any Scrap Singer talents. Okay, I guess I do need to Mystic for it. And Caltrops, you know, I'll take that. Let's see, I seek the qualities of a... Oh wait, I don't have enough Ironsing to get all the Scrap Singer stuff. That's why I wasn't showing up. Okay, we'll lightning clones and then... Okay, it's gonna attack the dummies. Okay, I guess I'll just chuck a Blessed Gem on Caltrops just so we can train it a lot faster. And then I will just spam train with Caltrops. Go do that. So now I can just... And that's a lot of Ironsing training. I'll get to 40 and just level up Caltrops because making the mantra deal more damage means that I get more points from it. Oh, bro, come on. Why do they have to make them, like, despawn all the time? It's so annoying. Half the time when I spawn in a lightning clone, it'll just instantly despawn, and then by the time it respawns, its time is up. Right, there we go. Do that. We're at 40 Ironsing, so I'll get Caltrops to level 3 for now. Obviously, we're going more than 40 Ironsing on the build. I'll just sit out here and train. Might as well. I'll chuck that there, chuck Caltrops there, and then I might as well train on a Thresher as well. What's this guy doing? Bro, that's a freshie. Okay, I'm not gonna question him. He can do him. I'll take more Thresher jobs. Caltrops is a really low cooldown, so if I stack Blessed Gem on it, then I can basically always use it. Okay, see another Thresher over there. Am I about to power up already? Alright, give me a second Thresher. See, refine and reuse. I'll grab that. Oh my, of course he snipes me there. Grab Concussion for the extra carry load. Then I'll grab this, so I deal more posture damage to the enforcers. Then I can grab another Scrap Singer card. Okay, I might as well attack this Thresher. Oh, this stupid NPC. Okay, come over here, Thresher. Alright, dead Thresher. I'm gonna come over here. There we go. Dead. Now we'll continue to level up our Ironsing. We won't be able to get all the Ironsing we need immediately, just because we will need to uncap the Ferryman. But thanks to Hive just giving you so much XP, due to the fact you're completing multiple jobs at once, we will be able to get all the Ironsing we need pretty quick. Are we already about to get another level? Okay, I was gonna say, that was so fast. Actually, that there might have actually been a full level, I can't lie. Oh, level up. See, I'll grab Expose Durability. Might as well deal more damage. I won't get Thresher Claws because it was actually confirmed that the more pen you have, the harder it is to posture break something. Believe that was confirmed by a tester a little while ago. Let's see, what is this mantra? Oh, Metal Gatling, that's perfect. We needed that. Well, and now we have a bunch of ways to train our Ironsing. So we should be able to power level all the way to 75. I think this guy's trying to, like, leave a Thresher for us to kill. Couple more points. And 75. Okay, we will need to go unbound to Ferryman, which shouldn't be too hard. blood. Now let me just start to invest in our heavy weapon. Is this a new build? No. This isn't a new build. It's an existing build. I can't queue these guys onto the build. Grab Warrior's Swing. Then I'll grab Polished Armor. This will just make me take less damage. And then another point into proficiency. I am hitting people constantly. There we go. I'll save my battle yet again. And now I guess I'll just teleport over to Miner's Landing. And then we can start to grind Ferrymen. Actually, I might need to get some cloth, actually. I'll teleport over to Miner's Landing, and then I can make the Ignition Deep Delver armor. Since I have all the mats sitting in my bank, I just need to buy cloth. I remember like a year ago when I was still doing those layer 2 loot routes that I thought, okay, I don't need to get any more Ignition Deep Delver schematics because like I'm never gonna run out of this stack. And then the other day I finally ran out. Okay, Owl's dead. So yeah, I finally had to actually grind more Deep Delver schematics not that long ago. Actually, plus I'm always in need of gems. I think at some point I'm gonna just grind 99 of each gem so I never really run out. Also really want them to raise the note cap in the bank just so I can do one really good Primadon grinding session and then I never have to get more notes again. Because I honestly burned through 100k notes in like 1 to 2 weeks because I just progged that much. So it would be nice in order to have like 1 million or if I could a billion notes in the bank because I'm not really gonna burn through that very fast. Plus it'd be a fun thing to grind that many notes. Port over to Miner's Landing and I just need to find the store that sells cloth. I think it's in here. Okay, it is. Do that. Now I'll place my guild base down and grab all the mats out of the deposit box. Get in deposit box. Grab my Deep Delver out. Frozen Membrane. Bounder's Claw and 1 Warncog as well as Vibrant Gems. I always seem to need Vibrant Gems. You go down here, learn all, Deep Delver, and I need fiber and then 1 blue gem. Okay, well, it's a good thing we're near a spot where we can actually buy the fiber. Get 1 blue gem. Now let's buy 5 fiber. Go in here, and there is our armor crafted. Now we're gonna take basically no damage from Ferryman. I will also go level up Metal Gatling and Caltrops to level 4, just for extra damage. Put that in there. I'll just withdraw as many notes as I can from my deposit box. I'm gonna need them afterwards anyways. Alright, level up Metal Gatling and Caltrops. And now let's head to Ferryman. Let's hope Ferryman doesn't take too long for us to kill. Damn, he's already taken more damage than I thought. And this should be, yep, Ferryman's dead, and now our Ironsing is unbound. I'll take whatever gems I can get, and oh, nice, an Armorer's Needle. Now that Ferryman's dead, I'll continue to invest in my weapon stat. This will also give me Bell Prog. As for the bell I'm gonna get on the build, it's either a Sacred Field or a Crazy Slots. More than likely, I'll go for a Sacred Field, just because you're only really running Crazy Slots if you're speed running, which I'm probably not gonna be speed running on this version of the build. Although I don't know, because this build can be used for bosses to decent success, so there is some merit to me getting Crazy Slots. I mean, then again, but Sacred Field is like always good. I don't know, I'll decide when the time comes. Get Wyvern's Claw, that just gets a rare card out of the way, and then get Oxidizing Rush. That is really good for getting damage on the build. Alright, we'll just loop a few Ferryman and hopefully get a lot of Bell Prog. And now we're at power 17. I'll grab Speed Demon, just because that is a little bit of extra damage to the Enforcers. However, Enmity itself is immune to bleed. Then I'll get... oh, okay, we need multiple. I'll freeze Phantom Edge and grab Artisan's Blade, just because I want to get Reshape and Remold as soon as I can. Then I'll grab more proficiency. We are at 100 Ironsing. This will give us the requirements for Alloyed Blood, meaning that we'll take less bleed damage from Enmity and bleed less in general, which is very convenient. Now it's just the simple task of leveling up our weapon as much as we can. There's power 18, so you will grab Masterwork. This should give us the requirements for Reshape and Remold. Oh my, so many good talents. Okay, we'll take Spine Cutter because these two should show up next talent hand anyways. That could be Metal Rain, but I'll grab Metal Bowl just because we do need that anyways. Let's quickly check at a campfire to see if we have any auto didact points we can use to upgrade our heavy weapon. Actually, we need to get requirements for the Warlock's Mantle anyways. Now we will spam invest into our heavy. Power 19. I'll grab the rare card. These two advanced will just keep showing up. I'll grab Alloyed Blood first, and there is Metal Rain. I'll replace it with Lightning Clones for now, as we don't need them at this moment in time. Then I'll grab more proficiency. Then I believe I might have 1 point off another power. By chance, do we have 1 point? Okay, no, we'll get it next ferryman anyways. Point, hour 20. Let's see, I guess I'll freeze this and grab Phantom Edge, just because hitting from a longer range is always good. Freeze this and grab Nullifying, because it can sometimes give me a little bit more damage. Grab Reshape and Remold. This will just mean that after enough Ironsing mantras hit Enmity, then we'll get a 5% damage increase for the entire team, and then 6 proficiency. Alright, I'll do a couple more Ferrymans just to secure that I have Bell. While doing Ferryman, I suppose it'd be funny to talk about something weird that's happened to me. So recently there has been people that have been trying to cancel me. So as you know, I've been running Enmities with actual Australian players for once, but there's 3 servers that it's been offered in. 2 of them were alright, just, you know, normal Enmity server, PvE server, nothing like too much. But the 3rd one had a lot of drama in it because the 2 owners kept bringing their depth politics into it. You know, like bountying people, saying, oh yeah, I gripped this person after they, you know, ganked my freshie or whatever. And you know, there's no real reason to bring that into a PvE server with PvE players who, you know, most PvE players are not gonna spin for you. So I voiced my opinion, said, yeah, keep your politics out. And one of these people, they got like so annoyed with me that they removed my perms in that server and just blacklisted me. So I was like, oh, okay, yeah. I just left because it just was not worth it. And then I come to find out that they are trying to stage a cancel attempt against me now. Or as they put it, a skipper gripper resistance. And I just found it hilarious. Like, I remember one of the things they got mad at me for was when I was running Enmity with people, and this guy with Twisted Puppets tries to jump our PvE builds, and he just gets destroyed. Like, he stands no chance at beating us, and gets killed in like a couple seconds. So then I say, oh damn, he got munted, which for those of you who don't know, it's like Kiwi slang for getting badly damaged. Because, you know, this guy kind of did get destroyed by a bunch of PvE builds. So then these guys clip down, like, oh my god, Skipper Gripper said a 14-year-old got munted. Let's cancel him. It's just hilarious. And then I get sent a screenshot of some guy saying, I think Skipper Gripper just ganked me. And then it's like, what? Like, yeah, DMs, join the Skipper Gripper resistance. The only time I'll ever gank people is if they think they can get on our Enmities, since there's a real issue with people just kind of hopping on our elevator and trying to go up with us. Which, like, we're not going to allow random non-PvE builds into our Enmities, because most of the time they don't help out, and then that leads to a risk of the carriers wiping. So we've had to, you know, ban that. So the only reason that I would have attacked someone is if they were on the elevators. But then again, I don't grip people. Like, I don't like to, you know, get into conflict with people all the time. So I wouldn't have gripped this person, so I have no clue what they mean. But yeah, I thought it was funny to mention that there's apparently a skipper gripper resistance forming. I mean, obviously, I'm gonna censor their names, because, like, while I am, you know, joking about this and saying, you know, that they're kind of odd for bringing depth politics, at the end of the day, Deepwoken is just a game. Like, and I know that if I, like, showed their names to people, somebody would harass them, which it's just not worth it. Like, I'm a content creator, I can deal with hate. It's nothing that serious. It's just the internet. And with this final heavy weapon point, we have now maxed the points of the build. I'm gonna do one final ferryman just to make sure we have Bell, and then we can kill Kaido. Well, let's try and kill a Kaido. Allegedly, you can just stand behind him, but I'm pretty sure this doesn't work. Hopefully, Kaido won't take too long to kill. We will have to deal with the fact that I am losing hunger the more time it takes me to kill Kaido. At least I will posture break him decently fast. I hit him underwater with those caltrops. And as you can see, despite me only having a level 1 oxidizing rush, I still regen a decent amount of health from Kaido. Therefore, when I actually level up my mantras, I'm going to be regenerating way more. Actually, Carnival, I do need that for a certain schematic. I've never actually done Carnival of Hearts before, since it's always been bugged. Oxidizing rush Kaido again. Hopefully we can kill him before Carnival starts. Okay, we have 45 seconds left to kill Kaido. I really hope he dies in time. Of course he hits me away. Oh my god, he's so close to dying. Come on. We don't have much time left. Oh, I think it's gonna be close. Okay, that was wait. Come over here. Auto rob. Oh my god, okay. We got auto just in time. That was so close. Another second and we would have been too late. Okay, now let's hope we can actually do Carnival, because I really need to get the schematics from here, just because they look good. Man, they really need to add voice acting to the Carnival, I can't lie. Why have they not voice acted this? Like, surely it's not hard to get a voice actor. Beam Blitz. Okay, let's not throw. I've never done this before. They're not even loading in properly for me. And GG boys. Oh, they're not dead? Okay, good. The hitboxes aren't that laggy. Bro, this is like hella laggy. I thought they made this work. I mean, not that I'm complaining that it's laggy. It makes it easier to dodge. Okay, I think I got one more that I have to dodge. Okay, now please give me a chest. Oh, okay, we're good. Give me a chest. Wait, it's still going. It already ended. Okay, are we gonna get a chest? This was kind of free just because there was only 3 of us. So, pretty, please. Pretty, I just need schematics. And they be dropped. Oh my god. Please don't tell me that it's only like the God, I hate this. Oh my god, this is so boring. I don't want to play the flaming pommer game. Just give me my goddamn schematics. Bro, this mouse has been winning just by... I dodged him. Bro, rigged. I hate the carnival. Not gonna lie, who asked for the carnival? Got rage baited. They're the worst aspect of Deepwoken. So now it's time for me to get Linkstrider. Apart from the fact this is the single laggiest server I've ever seen, I've got my ult here, which I am just going to grip a couple of times. It has the Oathless Oath, so it should count for Linkstrider progression. Okay, there's 1 kill. Now go to my ult, and then I am going to power up by reading books at the... Actually, I should change my OBS settings. Okay, there we go. Now I'm going to power up via reading books at the library, and then I can just, you know, do charisma. So this is how I'm going to just power up. That way I don't have to escape depths constantly. I shouldn't need too many for 1 power up via charisma. I'll only need 4 grips plus another 2 or 3 in order to get the sustain and leech mantras. That is officially 4 Scarlet Lotuses, so let's go get the oath. Put these Scarlet Roses in here. I should be able to get Linkstrider. Oh my god, why is it so slow? Why can't I just like put all the roses in instantly? Okay, there we go. Final roses in. Now the orb should spawn. And... Linkstrider obtained. Okay, now I just need to go grip my ult a few more times in order to max out the oath. Latest death, I have all of the progression that I need on my oath. Therefore, I've just got to go check my bell, and then the build is basically maxed. Let's see, do I have Astral Palebriar? Perfect. I'll be using this on the build, simply because, well, it looks like a cool glow stick. Plus, enchant doesn't really matter for Enmity. I'll go down to layer 2 to bell check. Again, I'm either hoping for crazy slots or sacred field. I'll honestly take whatever one I get first. There's my bell. Let's see what we've gotten. Smite, and yep, we're gonna have to go reroll this. And that's fine. I have a Moonside Tome out of my bank, just to save me having to do an Atheron, and I will grab a couple idols. Hopefully, I don't need to use them, but we're gonna go to Young Shoal because we need to use shrines anyways. We're at 40 knowledge just passively from getting to power 20, which is already really good. I don't even think we're missing that many things. We'll talk to Young Shoal, and hopefully he can give us the bell we need. This prompt, and okay, we got neither of the things we needed. Another attempt, nothing we needed. Alright, one more attempt. When are they adding a bell mystic? Smokescreen and sacred, I'll just take sacred. I mean, crazy slot and sacred. Here we go. Insanity downside, okay, we will re-roll that. Although this is a half decent version. Oh, just a shame it's insanity. Insanity and enmity just does not mix. The first thing I'm gonna do is divide up some of the excess mantras that we don't need. Get rid of fire gun, and I think that's both of the mantras that we just don't need. Okay, yeah, now we just have to max out the talents in the build. So let me check what I'm missing. If you don't know, you just export this and then you can take it to build maker and it'll tell you what you need to roll. Rid of condition swimmer. Also, hello to this person. Say hi to the prog. Alright, there you go. Welcome to the video. Always nice to meet fans in game. Okay, we also need natural armor because we're gonna get padded and steel scales. We don't really need ready or not. Don't want this, so I'll burn it and just take the carry load. Yeah, I don't have a trident spear. Unfortunate. Won't need savior. There we go. Padded armor, and that should lead into roll off this. There we go. Steel scales, and now we need to get brazen blows. So I'm a master of my hands. That should be the tree with brazen and impairing blow. These two will just allow us to gain hyper armor every 15-ish seconds, which is very good. Oh wait, pocket bombs. Okay, we did need that. That is a free plus 5 HP. Get rid of Gormad, impairing blow, and that should lead into brazen. So I won't need Moving Fortress. I'll get rid of that. There we go. Brazen Blow. So now, okay, we need to reroll a rare card in order to get Impaler. Won't need Wyvern's Claw. That's rarely ever gonna proc. Don't need this. Impact. Oh my, we don't want Conductor. Why am I getting Conductor? I want Jailer because that actually does decent damage and it's fast. Damn, I am not getting good RNG. And someone wiped. Impaler? Actually, that's what we needed. Yeah. Impaler is what we needed. Let's see. Need repair. Okay, we have to take that prompt and this will allow us to repair our armor with Iron Skin. That's it. We won't need Scorched Peak because we're not posture breaking things that often. Should I log? Okay, these guys seem chill, luckily. We need a full reset and I think that's it. Okay, then that prompt is just under this. Okay, just using random mantras. Warriors, breathing, ironclad. This guy not? I'm leaving. I'm heading out. Yeah, bro, I am not trusting these guys. Goodbye to these guys. I am not risking getting jumped. I don't think they know where I went, so I'm good. And goodbye. There's full reset. I believe that's all the talents and mantras maxed. I'm just gonna check one last time. Okay, I am actually missing Grand Feast, so I will get that now. Must have been Sunken Predator that I got before, not Grand Feast. Makes sense. Get rid of Polite Awakening, and there's Grand Feast. Alright, we've completely maxed out everything that we need on the build now. Actually, besides our bell, which I can just go fix. So let me just call the Deep, and then I'll pick up a Sinner's Ash until I get the Withered or Damage Downside. Preferably Withered. This guy appears to be following me. Okay, let's see. Damage Downside? Okay, that's fine. Okay, yeah, it appears that we now have the build maxed. We have a Linkstrider, we have all the mantras that we need. I will just chuck gems after it before, but now what I'm gonna do is just show some clips of me doing Enmity with my party, and then just roughly explain the thought process of how to use the build, and how to actually, you know, get the full potential out of it. And then after that, I will explain how we got the world record run, and how we can even improve upon it. Because while we ended with 44 seconds, I'm confident we can get in the 30-second range. I'm done my recording, guys. Finish my little sort of outro. Give these guys a screenshot. So I'll just go over the run that actually got us world record to explain what we did. So it actually started off with me failing to grip my lightning clone. I would grip it in order to auto scream, but we shoot Metal Rain with our other Ironsing user before Enmity is attackable, leading to posture breaking. Unfortunately though, he does spawn these enforcers, so this does get in the way. This run is definitely not fully optimal because both me and the other Ironsing user were distracted by the enforcers. But even so, we do have a good party, so we get good damage off Enmity. And my Ironsing mantras lead to him posture breaking again, taking a lot of damage. So this means by the time 43 seconds rolls around, well, we've got the world record. Wait, no. I ended that at 45 seconds and I started my timer early. Ended that at 45 seconds. So yeah, that's how we got world record. Now let me explain some of the stuff that we had to implement in order to do that. The first is managing Enmity's aggro. The way we believe it works is it aggroes onto the closest person. That's why this Silent Heart build up front stood really close to Enmity. Because as a whole, he did the least DPS, if he kept the boss aggroed on him the entire time, every other build with even more DPS would be free to constantly attack Enmity. However, this had issues with spacing, as everyone else needs to stay out of his hitboxes, meaning that we need to crowd around the back of Enmity. However, the downside of Ironsing is that it has relatively large hitboxes, so we needed to make sure that we didn't hit each other and remove our chain stacks. This also caused issues with the Pale Briar crit, as due to it being a multi-hit critical, it can proc Scrap Singer a lot of times, leading to a lot of damage. However, the critical itself is really big, therefore it runs the risk of hitting other people, which as you can see happened towards the end of the run. This run was by no means perfect either. If I had to guess, we could probably get something like a 30-second Enmity if we had 5 Ironsing builds and played perfectly, because this current team comp was a Silent Heart, 2 M1 builds, and then 2 Ironsing M1 builds. And the reason Ironsing does so well against Enmity, is because when it's posture broken, almost all of its resistances are gone, meaning that it takes way more elemental and physical damage, which is why our damage tends to skyrocket. And because of Ironsing having a lot of damage, as well as our M1s being really min-max, we can posture break Enmity ridiculously fast. And over the course of about 20 runs, we got down the timing for the Metal Rain at the start, as well as when to use the rest of our mantras and how to space it around as a team. Obviously, in higher player count Enmities, he's just taking so much damage that you could infinitely stun him with multiple Ironsing builds. But yeah, this was how we got Enmity World Record, and how I progged the strongest Enmity PvE build. If you enjoyed, make sure to like and subscribe, as I'll be releasing the showcase at 2,000 likes, or 500 subscribers gained on this video, so make sure you join the Discord so you don't miss it. A huge thank you to my channel members, especially those kind souls on the Mega and Super tiers. They get these videos early along with other channel member perks. Check out some more PvE content, and I'll see you all next time.